G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map, playing in the colour blue as the Holy Roman Empire. It's GiveUAnxiety. And on the south side of the map, playing in the colour yellow as the Rus, it's Simtom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We're here watching two of the world's best players go up against one another in round 3 of Golden League 2. This event is hosted by EGC TV, so if you're keen to check out more content, more competitive content like this, make sure you go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch it. And let's start to talk about this game because we've got a couple of different rule changes. Of course, if you've tuned into some of the previous games that have been played, you'd be aware of some of them. But for those who aren't, let me run you through the rules. So the way it works is this. Basically, all the pro players, they were asked, they said, hey, pro player, what is the best civilization on Dry Arabia? And they said, you know, English and Abbasid and Delhi and Mongols and all this kind of thing. And then basically they just banned them. They banned like 4 or 5 civilizations. I'm not sure exactly how many it was. They banned a lot of civilizations. And it just leaves a pool of, you know, 5 or 6 civs that are left. And basically you can just go through and pick those civs that are available right there. And that's essentially what's happened. So we've got Simtom here, who's playing the Rus and GUA on the Holy Roman Empire. So 2 civilizations that weren't considered to be top tier civilizations for this map. And as a result, they're able to pick them. So that's how it works. Now, interestingly, we don't see the hunting cabin dive that we do often see. But we do see quite a big threat of... scouts coming out already for Simtom. We'll take a look at GUA, because GUA also opened with the double scout. It's quite rare that you see people open with a double scout. Even recently, up against the Rus, players are less likely to go for the double scout opening. So I think this is an interesting sign from GUA. I think, if anything, it probably says to me, it's hard, right? Because realistically, the Holy Roman Empire can't do much with their second scout. Like, all they're going to be doing is just denying Gaia, gathering sheep, and keeping tabs on the enemy. There's nothing else too crazy they're going to be doing. It's not like the Malians, where you can just go into professional scouts, or there are other civilizations that like to go into professional scouts. That's not going to be the case. So GUA, I mean, he's just going to have a little bit more knowledge than what he normally would. That's pretty much it at this point in the game. But Simtom, take a look at this. He's gone for an early wheelbarrow and decided, I'm actually just going to... I'll go for the early wheelbarrow and I'll go for gold as well. So he's not doing the best when it comes to his bounty. At the moment, sitting on 153 gold, 1 villager on gold. So I don't know if you'd necessarily call this a mistake or miscalculation. Like, he's obviously intended on going for the wheelbarrow. But anyway, that's going to be it. Now, for anybody interested in coaching content, of course, you can catch it on Patreon. There is plenty of coaching content over there. So I'll leave a link in the description to where you can find things like replay reviews or live coaching. If that's what you're interested in, go check it out. Go say g'day. But, of course, let's focus on this game. As the Arkan Chapel begins to go down for GUA, we're going to give this one a rating. This is a pretty good Arkan Chapel. This is actually a really good Arkan Chapel. This is about as good as you can get, with the exception of, say, like an Altai Arkan Chapel, where you get the deer and the berries and the wood and the gold all in the same Arkan Chapel. This is really nice because you've got wood and gold together. So gold is great in the short term. Wood is great forever. And there's a lot of wood in here. Realistically, if I remember correctly, there's like 80 trees in this patch. So that's a lot of wood that you're looking at, like 12,000 wood that is all going to be maximum efficiency buffed up by the Holy Roman Empire. So really nice. Simtom going to be going for the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate returns. They thought it was dead in the water. They thought you'd never see it again. They were wrong. They were wrong. The Golden Gate returns to see the day once again. An Arkan Chapel about to finish now for GUA. Let's ride on board with him and watch exactly how he plays it as soon as he ages up. Prelate moves over, jumps inside immediately. Let's have a look at the resources here. Going to be going for a second town center potentially. Could also just be going for arrow slits on a defensive outpost. That could be an option, but when we see this many villagers moving over to the stone, it becomes very, very obvious of what his plans are. And Vill's trying to get a surround on that scout. Simtom not going to be allowing it. And look at the villagers that get pulled out here. Up to 12 villagers here for GUA. He's already got that 400 wood stacked up. So GUA having a marvelous time over here on that north side of the map. But we'll check in with Simtom as he's about to age up and the wooden fortress is going down. Expect to see a couple of upgrades coming through once he's aged up. Look out for that double broadaxe. He's already picked up the wheelbarrow, so don't be surprised if he looks to commit it to the feudal age a little bit longer than standard. Normally you can see these plays. Oh, here we go. All right, never mind. We got ourselves a ball getting taken, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these guys moving up to this northern or this eastern corner. Let's have a look and see where the double broad axe comes through. Oh my lord. Let me turn that off. I just got a notification. But sorry about that. Ball gets pulled. If you heard anything coming through the microphone, do not get worried. That was my phone, not yours. And now we've got that. We got a double surround. Look at this. We got a ball getting taken down. We got scouts getting taken down. It looks like there were no injuries on this this east side of the map. There are a few injuries over on the west side. But of course, oh look, this is just so annoying. And right, the thing is, GiveUA is actually taking this bait really, really badly, I would say. SimTom doesn't care about these scouts. Obviously, they will get out alive. There's no way these scouts are going to die. But GiveUA, I mean, realistically, there's no chance that he ever kills these scouts unless he gets a trap or a surround on them. And you're just delaying the town center. So really well played there by SimTom. But now we've got a little bit of a switch. GiveUA with the stable getting dropped down, getting thrown down here. Nice and early in this game, 6 minutes through. And I'm loving this opening from GiveUA. 7 villagers still here on wood, so expect to see a lot of cavalry out and... Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. What do we have right here? We've got ourselves a cheeky little outpost. Going to be coming up. Wooden fortress going to be coming up. 8 vills making their way downtown. But at the same time, it's a villager face-off. He moves forward. Wooden fortress. Outpost comes down. This is really good for GiveUA, but at the same time, it's really bad for GiveUA. More vills going to get pulled. And we have got ourselves an absolute game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. Let's enter into the cinematic mode and swing us around in a nice little circle. GiveUA gets the outpost up. All the vills jump inside. He tanks all of the damage there with the villagers, or rather with the scouts. Vills do eventually get inside the wooden fortress. Now we've got a real big problem for GiveUA. What is the problem? Anybody? Anyone in the chat? There's no chat here. This isn't Twitch. This is YouTube. Anybody got any questions as to why GiveUA is in trouble here? The reason why is because this outpost doesn't deny anything from SimTom, but this wooden fortress denies an entire hunt from GiveUA. So essentially what that means is that GiveUA has not gained anything. Ooh, emergency repairs. All right, didn't expect that one. That doesn't really change much. I mean, he gets a little bit of idle time here. He did kill a villager. Obviously, GiveUA lost 2 himself. And now GiveUA going to be moving over onto that west side. But the good news for GiveUA is he is playing Feudal Age, or at least it feels like he's playing Feudal Age. Dropping down the stable is a great indication of his direction in this game, and we already start to see we've got the I was going to say the Huntsman. Huntsman's a spider drongo. I mean, there are technically eight. I was going to say 8 legs inside that wooden fortress, but I'm pretty sure those villagers have got 2 legs apiece. There's 2 huntsmen in there. We've got a horseman out for you here on the backside. So now slowly, SimTom, he's going to start moving across the west side. The tough spot here for GiveUA is that he wasn't able to get the fortification through. Obviously, had to retreat. I mean, he could have left those 5 vills in the outpost for a little bit longer, gone for arrow slits, and then popped them out. But I think at the end of the day, you're still going to lose vills no matter what. And now, SimTom coming through. GiveUA, obviously, with the outpost already. Now, just remember, the problem that you've got here as GiveUA is even if you get this outpost up, you're not denying the outpost from your end. Okay, well done, GiveUA. I guess there were way too many vills here for this one, and SimTom just has to respect it. He walks away. Yeah, so essentially, your outpost, your defensive outpost does not necessarily match the offensive output that an outpost may also have. And look at this, we've got proxy stables coming in. Or at least we were going to have proxy stables coming in. He did cancel it for a little bit. Scout getting chased down. Horsemen doing their best. GiveUA trying to spend as many resources as he can on these units early game. I'm just keeping tabs on it, though, because the thing is, the way he's positioned at the moment is definitely trending towards a castle age. So might not be looking for a battering ram or something to clear out this wooden fortress. Instead, just going to be chilling out. Now, keep in mind, this wooden fortress always has access to that springwood emplacement. So it starts off small, but it starts to grow, that is for sure. Horseman number 1, number 2, number 3 out on the map. GiveUA just looking to try and track the enemy. Keep in mind, GiveUA 2 TCs, SimTom 1 TC. That's going to be a big factor here as SimTom still, at this point in time, slowly grows the economy. Nothing too crazy going down just yet. Just the double broad axe. Oh my lord. Nothing too crazy going down just yet, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a proxy base. We got a proxy. This is a StarCraft 2-esque proxy. I'm curious if GiveUA knows about this, because this is right outside his base. Let's have a little bit of a look just how far away that is from the town center. Jeez. You can see them on the same screen. That's where it starts to get scary. Now, As I said, I don't think GUA can see it. GUA sees nothing. GUA knows nothing. GUA just thinks his enemy's going castle age. There's no aggression here. Scouts are going to be moving around the front looking to find out anything that they can, but the archer numbers are slowly building up. Symptom, he goes for a very sneaky proxy base. GUA completely unaware and losing villagers here. The consequence of going for this, or allowing this arrow slits outpost to come up. And the archers, he spotted them for just a brief little second right there. 12 archers out at the moment. He sees 1 or 2 just chilling out now. GUA is going castle age. The Regnitz Cathedral is down. A single prelate out on the field at the moment. It's going to be inside the Archon Chapel. Now, in this matchup, often one of the key highlights is going to be the element or the importance of going for those relics. So the question is going to be whether Symptom looks to match him or whether he looks to punish him. Second outpost did actually get completed here. I think it may have been the fact he saw the archers and was like, actually, we do need to cover from this side. So GUA definitely looking to focus in this position. We see men at arms in queue. Horsemen also coming through. Up to 14 archers now for Symptom. GUA spots. He saw the battering ram for a blink of time. Barracks gets thrown down. GUA now seeing the reality that is in front of him. He's exposed him and said, "Oh gosh, we got a problem. We got a problem, guys. Okay, everybody, brace position, everyone." I'm trying to think like what's the appropriate thing to say right now other than run. Look at these vills go. 10 vills making their way out. So he's going to lose access to that food. Now he does have pretty good safe food deposits on the other side of the map. Fortunately for him, back little position here. Archers moving up. Gonna be looking to cut them out. Symptom obviously spots this out. A lot of archers here. +1's already through. He's gonna be able to snipe them off. 1 vill down. 2 vills down. Count them with me, Count Dracula. 3. Is it Count Dracula? I think it's just the Count. That's what they call him. It's a lot of vills going down. GUA losing a lot of vills here, but keep in mind, he's got that second town center. So he's able to lose some vills. Vills going down absolutely everywhere. And look at the way Symptom is committing. He just says, you know what? We're just going to try and do as much damage as we can. I don't mind if we lose the archers, because at the end of the day, you know, what's important here is that we just kill vills. But just remember, GUA, he is scaling. It's got that second town center. Does get the textiles through, able to survive those hits there with the vills at the last second. And more units now in the front. Going to be slowly building up. GUA brings in the first of the relics. Keep in mind, he's got the second prelate inside the Archon, nice and safe. But now pressure going to be starting to get applied to this town center. Now remember that there is always the option for emergency repairs. Now, ideally, in this situation, what you're going to do is, as GUA, you're going to wait until your town center gets to a nice, really low amount of health, and then you're going to hit the emergency repairs button. Instead of hitting it that early, I mean, if you do hit it early, at least it comes off cooldown sooner, and it does keep the TC alive. The problem is the window that your town center is going to be exposed to not having that emergency repairs is very, very long. And the likelihood that it goes down is going to be quite high. But GUA moving across the map. We'll look to see whether he gets punished here. Men at Arms going to be moving out, looking to hit down that battering ram. GUA picking up some upgrades, going into the Castle Age Men at Arms. That'll definitely help him out here. And Wheelbarrow as well. Prelate moving across the map. He's already got the first relic in. Second relic is on the way as well. In fact, the second relic is technically already in. He just hasn't moved it into position just yet. And GUA definitely looking like he's held this well. I mean, he lost 20 vills, but he is still broken even with where Symptom's at. In fact, Symptom is starting to break away on that villager count. Has GUA forgot to make vills? Is that what's going on? No, it doesn't seem like he's forgotten to make vills. Rather, it just seems like Symptom's just done a little bit more damage. Sacred Site starting to get taken. Keep in mind, you don't have to put the Sacred Site inside of a monastery, so it makes it really easy to just come out here, take the Sacred Site, and just walk away. And now GUA really building up quite a decent force here. Slowly but steadily, GUA going to be repelling this attack. The battering rams coming out and pushing through. Huge amount of units here for GUA. Keep in mind, these guys have got that extra armor. A lot of spears back here. GUA should be able to roll over the top of this, but it looks like he just falls back away from it. Says it's too much of a choke point. I don't want to deal with it. And wisely so from GUA. Prelate continuing to move out. You can see the way that he's got it linked around the map. He just wants to make sure... Oh, very, very smart. We do actually have the battering ram getting repaired up by villagers now. Siege Workshops gets thrown down here for GUA. And now Symptom. Adding in lots of farms. You never want to see farms this early as the Rus. That's a lot of farms at 15 minutes. And he's got options out here, right? Like 7 deer over here, 7 deer in front of his base. What's Symptom doing that he's going for farms? This is very interesting. Is there a reason why he feels like he can't go out on these deer? He's got pretty solid map control. Obviously, he's been hit quite a fair bit by those horsemen, but realistically, it doesn't feel that bad. Archer numbers starting to build, though, for Symptom. Up to 28 now. Forces GUA. Off the berries. Slowly but steadily. Builds up those numbers, and we can see... Does look like there might be a trend towards the castle age. Quite a lot of food stacked up at the moment. Still working on the gold. The proxy base was successful. Wallalol going to be coming in. And Symptom respects it. But that prelate, unfortunately, going to be living a short life. And does unfortunately go down. We're right on board with GUA and see how he's doing as he continues with this melee combo. No ranged units coming through for him just yet, with the exception of, say, a Mangonel. Emergency repairs has already been used on this town center. Not a lot of pressure out here. And does Symptom put these houses on the front intentionally, just to block any melee units that might be coming through? GUA going to be losing this second TC. 54 vills against 51. 20 vills in total did go down for him. Symptom. Let's ride on board with Symptom. Sacred site in the center. Gonna get picked up right here. Now I'm just gonna turn off my alarm. I must have pressed the wrong button. I've got an alarm set for about 10 minutes ago, and it's just been popping off recently. And I tried to turn it off, and it's like, oh, what you're actually doing is snoozing the alarm. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to turn it off. Prelate does go down over on the west side. Okay, I think I've managed to turn that off now. So that's going to be a little bit easier to manage. But now we've got ourselves a counterattack, a counteroffensive happening. The age up comes through. Expect to see the upgrades come through. It's going to be veterancy. Mangonel moves forward. 2 Mangonels out for GUA. Vill's going to get pulled up to the front as well. Throws down a mill on the deer. He's going to feel great to be able to get that one back. And where are these units at the moment for Symptom? Symptom just evacuates the front. And this is something that I do quite often, or that I talk about in my coaching. You know, I had one of my students say, Drongo, I always like to build my production here in a forward base. Because other people do that against me, and it works really well. And I say, yeah, look, it might work at that level, but you got to remember at the top level, when there is the possibility for counterplay and that sort of thing, if you lose that forward base, you lose all that production that goes with it. And that's exactly what Symptom is experiencing right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 900 wood that's going down now for Symptom, just because he decided to build them forward. And obviously, there was a reason why he was doing that. He was looking very all in here. But he does get punished, and as a result, he's going to have to build that production back home, and he may not have the resources to do it. We're right on board with him as we watch those relics get picked up. GUA with 3 relics in the bag. Trying to work towards that 4th relic. We can see it is walled in over on that east side. Counter-attack up towards the north. Man-at-Arms going to be able to find it. The question is going to be whether he's able to do too much damage. There are vills up here, only 5, so they can jump inside the town center. No sign of a Mangonel coming through just yet. Here's a Mangonel roaming up towards that top side. And 5 vills, I was going to say, you guys probably can't take that boar. I would not do that. Unless you want to lose 5 vills. Prelate gets exposed. And we hear a relic getting picked up somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where that relic was getting picked up. Wait, did he took the relic from the Abbey of the Trinity? Oh! Because he rallied a second warrior monk there. I was wondering where that came from. But that's starting to make a bit more sense. Mangonel slowly and steadily taking down all of these forward buildings here. 3rd relic coming in for GUA. 4th relic is now exposed. Where are the warrior monks? There they are. Mangonel. Hello. First shot comes in. It's a success. He's going to be able to get into point blank range. This Mangonel will go down if Symptom's paying attention. But there's action all over the map. You can see the scouts firing off. Units do go down. Warrior monk will be able to pick up that relic. And the Mangonel manages to get away from the spears. Big shots. Huge damage. Nice cleanup. These Mangonels, these GUA Mangonels are so funny. They're just roaming around unprotected everywhere. So ripe for the taking, but just not being taken out. And Symptom now. I mean, we're even Stevens at this point, right? Like, Symptom managing to snag 2 relics away from GUA despite aging up like 6 minutes after him. That's pretty damn good by Symptom. I'm going to take my hat off to him in that regard. But now GiveUA going up against Horse Archers. This is where it starts to get difficult. Horse Archers going to be really effective at dealing with these men-at-arms just simply because they've got so much attack to grind through that armor. 14 attack compared to the 6 armor. So in total, 8 damage is going to be getting through. So once you start getting up to, say, 10, 15 Horse Archers, you're really having a good time against these men-at-arms. You can see just how much damage they're doing. GiveUA realizing he can't stay, he can't fight. Needs those mangonels to help him out. GiveUA running a couple of idols back here. We're right on board with Symptom as he looks to push GiveUA away, and a second town center is going to get added in here. So Symptom starting to think a little bit more about scaling into the late game. And if we do an assessment of these two civilizations in the late game, it's a bit of an interesting one, quite honestly, because Streltsy are really good in the late game because against this civilization, against the Holy Roman Empire, they want to be making melee units so Streltsy can stand still. They can put out a lot of DPS. But one thing to note is that you're up against Culverin. So GiveUA are going to be making plenty of Culverin if we do get to the late game. And the Culverin are a bit of an interesting matchup into this, just simply because while the Culverin are a more population-effective unit, they do have less range than the Springalds that will be coming from the Rus. So that's something to keep an eye out the later that we go on, because you're going to be investing more population as the Rus, but you will technically have more range. So we'll have to see if that unfolds in the late game or not. But GiveUA now, we're right on board with him as he looks to defend against this. Not aware of his enemy's second town center. Definitely aware of his enemy's second relic, though, that's for sure. Unfortunately for GiveUA. I mean, he would have definitely been hoping for at least 4 relics. If you can get 4 relics as a Holy Roman Empire player, that puts you in a really good spot. It gives you a great, solid income. And one of the things I'd expect to see GiveUA looking to do, especially because he's lost that second TC, because he lost quite a lot of villages, and once again loses a Mangonel undefended. Oh, I don't know why the Mangonel was just chilling on the sacred side, but I would expect to see GiveUA looking to go Imp sooner. Though I will note, GiveUA is definitely one of those players who avoids going Imp. I shouldn't say avoids going Imp, but just he doesn't really go Imp. He prefers to play it out in the Castle Age, which is fine. You know, that's a style different, especially if you play 2TC quite often. Like, playing into Castle Age makes a lot of sense because the impact of Swabia is going to be a lot less. But even at this point, even 22 minutes into the game, 71 vills, like, Swabia is going to be... It's going to feel really good. But look at GiveUA coming in from the rear. His enemy completely unaware that he is getting flanked right now. It's a trap. It's a trap, ladies and gentlemen. And GiveUA moves forward with all of his units, looking to surround his enemy, trying his best to get that front line to the back. And look at him surround. Horseman doing a great job here. Needs to get those spears over there and take out all the knights. Spears and men-at-arms working together to go through the archers. And GiveUA looking pretty solid here. Keep in mind there's Horse Archers in the back, but the mass of them is just nowhere near enough. GiveUA's also got the reinforcements and a beautiful surround from GiveUA, beautiful flank, and a great use of positioning there. It was a trap. The whole time it was a trap, and Symptom had no clue. GiveUA cleans up. Really well played there from GiveUA. All right. Symptom moving across the map. GiveUA starting to wall up. This is what we need to see. This is where we need to go at this point in the game. The Knights, the Horse Archers, they become a real threat. We need to get those walls up. We need to make sure that there's no way our enemy's going to start breaking through into our farmland. And GiveUA goes for a second TC, which once again points to the fact he's not going to be thinking about Imperial this game, or at least not this stage of the game. Maybe a little bit later he'll be thinking about it, but definitely not the next 5 minutes, that's for sure. GiveUA continues pushing across the map. Finds a whole bunch of villages. They do manage to make it back. Battering rams. Trying to survive. Trying to get out alive. But the Horse Archer numbers and the Knight numbers starting to build for Symptom. And this is the combo that is often talked about when you're playing the Rus. Takes advantage of Boyar's Fortitude. For anybody unaware of Boyar's Fortitude, it's going to increase the health of all of your cavalry. That's your warrior monks. That's your Horse Archers, your scouts. And of course, your Knights. Increases it by a flat 30 health. Scales very well with things like biology. And now that hunting cabin. Oh, that was close. That was a very close death of a hunting cabin right there. GiveUA adding in more farms into the farmland. You can see just how quick these villages operate. The way they're able to take so much of this field before the rest of it generates. In fact, for anybody who doesn't know, the way that the wheat regrows, it's based on time. So you can see with these villages here, the wheat is able to regrow on the backside and then on the front. And then so the villager, instead of taking from the back, can just take from the front. So this is a really inefficient farm. Whereas if you compare it to a farm like this, you can see the villager has managed to take off the entire front 2 rows and take out this back one because this one's still growing over here. At least I think that little part right there is growing. Anyway, there's your little farm economics insight. GUA definitely in a tough spot going up against the mobility of the Rus army. And while he's also got a mobile army, it's a melee army, so it does often get kited. GUA does end up taking the Boar as well on that east side of the map. Sacred Site getting walled in the center. 2 sacred sites held at the moment by Simtom. He's looking for a 3rd one as well. So Simtom, oh, the mangonels from the top rope. GUA, watch out. GiveUAnxiety, more like GiveURKO. Far out. They do some damage, man. They pack a punch, don't they? Up against range units. And now, I just saw, Simtom has 5k gold. Now, Simtom, I know that it's expensive in this economy to afford all the things that you need for your day-to-day life, but it seems kind of excessive. Like, this is just flashy at this point. You're kind of bragging on us all. A little bit. Is the word braggadocious? Simtom? Come on, that's a lot of gold. Now, what's he going to do with the gold? Often when I'm coaching, I'm telling people, okay, you got this much gold, start getting your upgrades. And that's exactly what he's doing. So we can see him picking up, he's got fertilization. Has he picked up all of his other upgrades? Yeah, we can see the +2s coming through. This is what we need to be clicking, though. He needs, there's 250, 250, 125, another 250. That's 1,000 gold right there he can throw out. So there's lots of ways you can spend your gold. The issue he's got is that his income, I mean, this is a first world problem, isn't it? Oh, I can't hold all this gold. Yeah, that's definitely a first world problem. Now GUA in a striker, in a little bit of trouble, in a bit of a tiff. Didn't get the walls up. This is what we were talking about. The reason why you want to get these walls up is because if your enemy gets through to the farmland, just like they're doing right now, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in a real trouble. And that's exactly what GUA is in right now. Horsemen going to be coming through, looking their best to try and defend against this attack. 12 villagers have gone down so far, and that's going to put GUA far behind when it comes to the villager count. He was very close to Simtom, within 5, within reach. And now, all of a sudden, things are much worse for the American. For anybody who doesn't know, GUA is American, or is from the United States. Simtom from the UK. Big mangonel shot, goes wide. Relic exposed over here on the west side. There is a warrior monk in the vicinity. In fact, there's multiple warrior monks in the vicinity. He could have looked to pick it up, maybe even throw down a Walla or 2. And triple mangonel out for GUA. Definitely gonna, if I'm Simtom and I'm seeing this many mangonels, I'm thinking I might just age up, get some springalds. Make sure I get my roller shutter triggers. That'll deal with it. And now GUA doing a really good job of defending the mangonels. Often something I talk about is you got to remember that when you've got mangonels, you don't want to be chasing enemy units with your units. You want to you got to treat those mangonels as VIPs. You need to defend them at all costs. And that's exactly what he does here. So very well played there, despite losing that villager. I wouldn't say a villager lead. I mean, he definitely had a villager lead at one point, and he has lost it. Didn't lose it then. Now we've got another counterattack over on the west side. And you can see this is what the wall does, right? The wall buys him time. The wall buys him time to react. It buys him time to get units back there, to throw down outposts if he needs to, or just to throw down another wall. I mean, you've got that many vills, you could just select them and build a wall right in front. And now GUA looking to attack on the east side. He's taken out a few villagers here himself. Scouts moving through. These guys have got bonuses against siege, but he doesn't opt for it. Instead, we've got another run-by. It's happening over and over. Run-bys. Like Zerglings in the natural, they are run-bys constantly happening here. And GUA just looking to focus down the wooden fortress. This wooden fortress in particular is something that he has had a problem with. Does manage to take it out, but at what cost? That's going to be the question. Outposts do get thrown up here, so GUA going to be able to defend. Mangonel loses its life, and we can see just how much damage is getting done to these horse archers. Keep in mind, they don't have a lot of armor, these guys. So loses almost all of them. 10 horse archers remain. Now GUA neutralizes the sacred site in the center. There's chaos all over this map as continued attacks on the farmland of GUA happen. It's terrible stuff. And look at GUA just running stone gathering villages all the way in. He says everybody's got to get out of here, and the consequence is just I don't necessarily think a lack of preparedness, but rather a lack of reactivity to those raids that were coming through. But GUA He says, well, Drongo, I didn't need reactivity. I'm going to be proactive here. I'm going to go on the offensive, mangonels. These guys are laying in wait. I love the fact that Prelate's just standing here, inspiring them, giving them an extra 15% damage. Clean up the Vils here. I didn't even know you could get plus 15% damage on mangonels. I didn't even know mangonels could be inspired. They're just cleaning house right now. Looking to focus on the farm. He does actually change the direction that they're attacking, and slowly but steadily gets kited towards the back of the base. Up towards the north side. GiveUA chasing away his enemy. And I can't help but feel a lack of farms, or a lack of walls, is really hurting both of these players. Obviously, GiveUA had a wall over on his western flank. Very interestingly, didn't go for a, didn't go for any kind of, like, he hasn't gone for any real defense. Like, obviously he's got the outposts up, and these work in two ways. Number one is they provide attacks in the form of whether it's a springald emplacement or an arrow slit emplacement, but also it's a garrison point, right? So the more you've got, the merrier. But look at these farms in the middle. These guys are so far away. You're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like, that is very, very far away. How many farmers does he actually have at the moment? 48 farms. That's a pretty decent amount. The push finally peters out on the front. Siege Workshop's going to go down, though. And there is just units all over this map. I really feel like Simtom's got the upper hand. It seems like his mobility is being a lot more, or is a lot more important. Not important, but a lot more impactful than GiveUA. So we can see how many Vils have gone down so far. 57 worker kills so far for Simtom. 39 worker kills for GiveUA. So he manages to even it up. 87 versus 90. And the difficult spot when you're playing in the driver's seat here, you don't know how many worker kills your enemies got on you and how many you've got on them. You can kind of keep track, but you've got no idea where they're at. And then you see the second TC, you don't know where the second TC is. So the best thing that you can do is just keep playing. That's really it, right? Like, because at this point, they don't realize that they're this close to villagers. You know, GiveUA probably thinks he's far behind. Simtom probably thinks he's far ahead. I know I would. All right, well, sacred sites have been neutralized. Getting neutralized all over the map. There's a lot of fighting around it. We don't see a real big amount of walls, which is the surprising thing for me. I would have thought that we would just see players walling themselves up completely, looking to create that onion, but both of them are just kind of welcoming the attacks. And GiveUA, I do like the way that he's defending here. I'm surprised we don't see more outposts, though. Especially when his emplacements are so cheap. Now that sacred site in the center, gonna get captured. The sacred site on the west gonna get captured. Hasn't walled in this gold yet, or this sacred site just yet, but is working towards it. Sacred site 2 taken. Sacred site 1. Actually, he's taking all 3 at the same time. So impressive control here from Simtom. And now crossbow's going to get added into the army. So a little bit of a switch up. Crossbow knights. Simtom approaching maximum population. He's at 200. 6k gold still in the bank. When you've got 6k gold in the bank, at what point do you think, maybe I should take these Vils off gold? Now, obviously, you've got them on gold and you're denying gold from your enemy, but it's not really like GiveUA needs gold at the moment, right? Like, all of his gold is just very much, we don't need the gold, we don't need the gold. So you're not really denying it from your enemy because they're never really going to use it. And GiveUA finally going to start walling off. Definitely the right call here. Get some more walls up. But obviously, before those walls get up, GiveUA is going to experience the raid once again. A little bit of an attack from the right. Watch out those mangonels. They're looming. They're looking for it. GiveUA looking to try and defend his back just in case. Unfortunately, Simtom falls back, realizing that's a pretty decent-sized army. I've got to watch out. Mangonel shot! RKO! Randy Orton. I was going to say Andy Orton. That's not who you want to... That's not who you want to be coming up against in the dark alleyway at 12 o'clock. Mangonel's still looking for it. Look how many bodies are on the ground. Simtom suffering huge damage right there from the mangonels. The power of the mangonels. The reason why you got to respect them so much is because in the blink of an eye, they can take out your entire army if you're not paying attention. And nice little choke point that GiveUA has gotten stuck in. But still, his numbers are able to overwhelm his enemy. Mangonels Big shots. Big shots. 5 more crossbows going to be going down. Springle's moving forward. Expect to see GiveUA look to retreat the Mangonels. Indeed he does. Springle's come up a little bit too far. Second set of Springles coming through. But at the same time, the Knight's going to be able to clean up. There's way too many Knights here. We're not even going to watch. The Mangonels are going to be dead. More Springles coming out, though. And it definitely seems like Simtom has done a pretty decent job here at stabilizing. Still up against many men at arms, but the Knights, together with the crossbows, doing a wonderful job. We'll bring back in the UI so you can see exactly what's going on in this fight as the 3 sacred sites continue ticking down for Simtom. I was going to say Timtom. Timtom? No, Tintin. I think that was it. That was my childhood TV show that you'd watch. Tintin. And he goes and explores things. Tintin. Not Tim-Tom. And not Sim-Tom. Tintin. Anyway, prelate numbers starting to build for GiveUA. He's up to 9. So both of these civilizations relying heavily on the religious aspect. Sacred Site does get neutralized, stopping the Sacred Site timer. Springle's on the back. Neither player yet to even think about Imperial at this point. Simtom may have enough soon. He's maxed out. GiveUA about 10 pop away from him. And now the Horsemen begin to push forward. GiveUA with the trash army. Go, 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 go. Look at the army value difference. Double the army right now GiveUA has, or rather Simtom has got compared to GiveUA. And yet GiveUA looks to try and fight him head on. And I think GiveUA probably realizes at this point, things aren't going the best. 13k army value up against 6k. I mean, GiveUA is managing to take out his enemy pretty well. The problem is once you get to the lower end or the lower side of it, Simtom should manage to just absolutely blitz through the army of GiveUA. Where is the rest of it from Simtom, though? I was going to say, it needs to be somewhere else. Like, Simtom's army difference is huge here, but GiveUA, he's gone down, but he's gone down a lot less than what Simtom's gone down. So somehow, with the Holy Roman Empire units, GiveUA manages to keep his head above water and force back his enemy. 36 minutes into this game, and it looks like neither player is given way. 117 vills a pop. Mangonel shot hits another 5 crossbowmen going down. Jeez, these Mangonels, you got to watch. You got to respect them so much. And now Mangonel's coming out from Simtom, but the question's why? What are they going to do against melee units? Another big mango shot, another 8 off the top rope. Jeez, these Mangonels have just been sweeping this game. GiveUA tries to get another shot off. It looks like it went a little bit short, unfortunately, or failed to go off. And now those heals coming out from the prelates, he's going to have to fall back. GiveUA starting to lose out on this tempo in the center. This massive ranged units is building. GiveUA, excuse me, sir, we need more Mangonels to the front. And GiveUA answers the call. Indeed, he does answer the call. More Mangonels going to be coming out. GiveUA finally getting the wall up. This is what I wanted to see. This is like a great base. Not great, but like this is really good to start from. But we need to see the onion build. We need to see layers upon layers upon layers. And look at what Kalp's doing. Kalp. Look at what Kalp's doing. Look at what Simtom's doing. I wonder why I said Kalp there. I guess I did just cast a Kalp game, so maybe that's why. But look at what Simtom's doing. He's starting to wall GiveUA in. He's helping him out. He says, hey man, you want to make some walls? Yeah, I'll help you. I'll make some walls as well. Sacred Site in the east. Now going to be contested. Looks like Simtom wants to trigger that sacred victory once again. And a distinct absence of music brings the serious nature of this game to reality. Both players considering Imperial. Simtom somehow managed to spend all of his gold. Hasn't clicked up just yet. But could do so. Could do so any minute here. GiveUA as well. GiveUA, I just hope, please don't go into Swabia. Actually, is Swabia decent in this position? Because if your enemy raids you, with Swabia, you can get back to max pop, but that's like, I feel like Elsbach is really good here as well. Just because it actually does something. But the age up now going to be coming through. It's going to be the high armory that gets placed down on the front. A little bit exposed here, if I'm honest. And we got another Sacred Site fight beginning to unfold. Mangonel's top rope! He goes wide a little bit, though. Very well played, but the Mangonel follow-up does manage to hit on those archers. Really decent job there, clearing out this mass. We hear attack sirens happening over towards the left of our screen somewhere. I don't know what's going on, but I suspect there might be a bit of a raid on the backsides. Let's take a look and see what we can find. And indeed, it is going to be the case. We got units under attack over here on that west side. More fights breaking out. Imperial Age almost through here for Simtom. A keep going to be going up on this East Sacred Site, protecting the gold vein as well. And GiveUA pushing forward with the prelates, with the spears, and with the men-at-arms. Simtom reaches the Imperial Age. He's slowly but steadily looking to build that lead. He's up 10 vils at the moment, loses the Springald, and now look to see the elite upgrades. What do we got coming through? We've got elite knights. We've got knight sabers, an extra 4 damage, and expect to see a university thrown down any second. He's going to be looking for biology as one of the key upgrades here as he heads into this Imperial Age phase of the game. Sacred Site number 3 is captured. Neutralized, rather. Now starting to get captured by GUA. Spears on the Sacred will defend it. Constant fights over these Sacred Sites. GUA now moving across the map as well. Potentially looking for wood, realizing he doesn't want to over-chop this wall. Sprinkled in placement. Definitely going to be providing cover. And there's the Elsbach coming in. GUA doing the right thing. Elsbach on the central Sacred Site. Never a better place to put it than that. Wasn't going for that wood line. Was going for the Elsbach. Definitely the right call. Within 2 minutes of each other, both of these players going to be imp, and GUA just flowing units out into the middle of the battlefield. Probably not the right time to do it. I'd be tempted to say, GUA, call it back right now. You're going imp. You want to get those imp upgrades in. Just like your enemy's got. Elite Knights. Keep in mind, these guys are very well upgraded. Tithbarn's going to be coming in. And GUA reaches the Imperial Age. The Elsbach is upon us. GUA drops down a couple of lumber camps next to the Elsbach. Might clear out a bit of space, see if he can throw a few more keeps down. He wants to be sure to look for upgrades like Court Architects. Going to increase the health of his Elsbach Palace. Maybe even look to pick up other things like slate and stone construction, where all buildings gain an extra 5 fire armor. Of course, you've always got reinforced defenses, which is even better than what the Chinese used to get. But that one didn't get nerfed, did it? Did it? I miss China. All right. Well, at this point in time, Symptom is pushing up on the village account. No trade just yet, he says, as the traders make their way across the map. There it is. 19 traders for Symptom. So that's where that gold economy is coming from. I'm curious, how long has he had these traders for? Because this is definitely the first time I've seen them. I think. All right. There's the biology coming through. And we also see Saints Veneration, which is probably the first time I've ever seen that upgrade. It's the new one that got added in the most recent patch. +3 also on the way. And GUA looking for upgrades. He picks up Elite Horsemen. Elite Men-at-Arms coming through, and Tithbarn's going to be coming through for him as well. Now those outposts, remember. Has he picked up that extra 5 fire armor? Not just yet. So 5 fire armor on these outposts at the moment. And slowly works towards holding this central Sacred Site. A little bit of a push over on the east side. We got walls coming up absolutely everywhere across this map. This is how it needs to be played to stop these constant little raids from coming through. Elite army tactics for GUA. So both players picking up their uni upgrades, their university upgrades rather. I don't think I've ever called it a uni before, except when I'm talking about going to uni. You guys don't have uni, you got college. At least in the States you do. I don't know what, how about Germany? What do you guys got over there? You probably got like Rastenbarger, something like that. You know, you guys are just weird. Don't have a word for archery range. Don't have a word for... You probably got a word for university. Double Treb's coming out from Symptom right now. I love picking on the Germans. You guys are all right. You know I love the Germans. Unironically, Germany, probably the most beautiful country I've ever been to. Now, that's not saying much. I've only been to like 4 countries, I think. What have I been to? I'm going to say what countries I've been to. Do not judge me. Let me explain. Okay, obviously I've been to Australia. That's where I live. But I've been to Thailand. I went to Thailand when I was 17 with my mum and my sister, okay? Calm down. Don't get excited. It was just with my mum and sister. We had a great time. We stayed at a resort together. It was wonderful. Okay? No, don't even go there. I've been to Germany, obviously. Where else have I been? I haven't really been much around. You know, for a guy who's 32, I tell you what, I haven't really traveled that much. You know, maybe I'm just kind of thinking about relative to myself, or like relative to the people that I know. Like I'm sure I know that there are people who have like not left their towns or not even left their states. You know, so look, I'm doing all right. But Germany's a beautiful country. I'll just say that. Definitely Heidelberg was the highlight of Germany for me. That was just such a beautiful place to be. Such a picturesque place of the world. Cannon in placement now, coming through on this outpost, and we hear GUA managing to build up a little bit of pressure on this map as horsemen make their way across the map. He actually spots out the traders and says, oh, actually, I can do something about that. And look at this, Symptom, instead of going for walls, is actually just going to start dropping keeps. I actually like this play, and this is a bit more of like an Age of Empires 2 kind of style play. Because in Age of Empires 2, they don't really wall. Like, obviously they do wall, but they wall with buildings. But the main focus is just on keep defenses. The keeps are so strong in Age of Empires 2, especially when enemy raids look to come through. All right, well, slowly GiveUA looks to take control of the map. Moving out on the left, on the right. Neutralizing the sacred side, pushing down the front. Men-at-Arms, elite upgrades have come through. He's got elite army tactics as well. These guys are fully upgraded at this point in the game. And now we reach that point where it's like, okay, it's here. It's finally here. Imperial Age, post-Imperial Wars are coming through. Who comes out on top? Is it the Holy Roman Empire? Is it the Rus? Who would you rather be in this situation? And I'll be honest, I would probably rather be the Rus. I think the Rus would be best here. Just because of the Streltsy. The Streltsy is incredible. Once it gets going, once you got double time and all that kind of buff working its magic, as long as you're able to keep your enemy in one spot and avoid those mangonel shots, you're going to have a great time. But that's the hard part. Streltsy numbers starting to build here. Let's see, he's up to 12 Streltsy. As long as he's able to stagger the shots, he'll be fine. Horseman coming through as well. He loses the first of the trebuchets. Second one looks like it will survive. I say maybe a little bit too early. I don't know what that trebuchet was doing. He should have been running away. Running for dear life. And now we see, is this precision? Yeah, mounted precision coming through. Which is going to increase the range of horse archers by 1. Used to be 2, I'm pretty sure. Then they reduced it to 1. Definitely the right choice. Horse archers were crazy in the late game. 6.5 range on horse archers back in the day. And GiveUA just multitasking right now. I mean, this is what GiveUA was famous for back in Age of Empires 3. They called him the multitasker. And, you know, there were famous quotes like, you can't out-multitask the multitasker. And this is just an extension of that. He's just everywhere. But at the same time, he's nowhere. He's like a ninja, like a ghost. But he is quite literally everywhere. Keep going to be going down here. This forward keep. In fact, this keep has been up for quite a while. This keep's probably been up for close to, what, 20 minutes, I'd say. Maybe 15 minutes, something like that. So, hasn't really done much this game. It's obviously protecting the gold, kind of protecting the sacred side. But if I remember correctly, it doesn't really seem to have achieved much. I mean, but maybe in its presence, it has achieved a lot. You know, it has denied inevitable attacks that would have happened over on that side. So, there's no way for us to know. Simtom. Now looking to push into this little choke point. GiveUA moving up with the mangonels. This is what we talked about. You've got to be careful with these Streltsy. You've got to make sure you've got things like banded arms coming through. You're going to increase the range of the Springalds by just a little bit. Just 0.5 tiles so you can outrange the enemy culverin. GiveUA continuing to stream units across the map. You could be forgiven for thinking he had a Burgrave, the way those units are streaming across the map right now. Now Sacred Site's neutralized over in the west. A little bit of a standoff between monks. And GiveUA with beautiful micro splits down the middle, says, get away from my mangonels, you heathen. And indeed, away from the mangonels he gets. I feel like that was a quote from, like, I'm not going to say that was Shakespearean, but it was a little bit Shakespearean. Mangonels, mangonels, mangonels. Oh, leaving workers with 3 health. Surely that's got to be intentional. Can he get the next shot off? Comes through, hits the warrior monk. Not able to achieve much more. So additional keeps going to be coming up. He's looking to protect the trade line with keeps. Feels like almost a little bit of an Ottoman style we're starting to see. And Simtom now with the counterattack on the other side of the map. We got attacks happening everywhere. Left, right, center. GiveUA pushing through. Spears, Lenge Connect, Men-at-Arm. Horsemen in the middle. Towards the north, defending with outposts. We got triple outposts coming up. Looks to try and dive in. We got Men-at-Arms coming out from Simtom. Simtom saying, actually, I think Men-at-Arms might be the best choice here. But you got to remember, Simtom, you're going up against some of the best Men-at-Arms in the game. Heavy maces. Double-handed axe. Or is it double-handed weapon, I think the upgrade's called. Sorry, I think it's double-handed weapon. It's something silly like that. I mean, they do get an axe from the upgrade. So I stand by my comments. Absolute chaos in this game. We've been seeing a couple of chaotic games lately. We've been, yeah, I mean, like, the games have been really good on this patch. I'm going to be honest. I especially love games on Dry Arabia. Dry Arabia games just feel so much better than any other map. Maybe I just say that as like an English main. As an English main, Dry Arabia is the most balanced map. As a Chinese player, the most balanced map is definitely Altai. That is definitely the best map in the game. At least it was. Do you remember the days where Altai was the only map that would happen in ranked match? Like, you'd queue up for a ranked game, it's like, Altai. And you'd ban Altai and be like, Altai. It's like, excuse me, I banned Altai. Altai. It just gives you Altai every single game. If I remember correctly, Altai actually had like a twice the pick rate, well, not pick rate, but twice the occurrence rate of any other map that there was. It was ludicrous how much Altai was picked. And now we start to see interesting upgrades coming through. GiveUA looking to pick up Slate and Stone Construction. On the other side, though, Elite Spearman coming through. Veteran Horseman. So moving into Horseman, realizing that he doesn't actually have the gold to support these constant Knight and Streltsy pushes that he wants to. Simtom definitely making the right decision to move into that direction. Incendiary Arrow is also going to be coming through. And we are really at the post-imp stage. Once all the upgrades come through, that's it. And now Simtom going to start walling himself in, realizing that actually this whole theory of just putting keeps everywhere, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I need something more, something tangible. There's the Incendiary Arrows. Elite Horse Archers with 24 damage now. 24 damage up against the 8 armor, so 16 damage coming through. And GiveUA going to be looking to drop down a keep. Simtom trying to push forward to deny it. There's 18. It looks like 18. It could be 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. That's 18. 17. He's losing Vils here. Looks like the keep will probably get up. GiveUA should be fine as long as he commits. Actually, there's a lot of low health Vils here. I take it all back. I take it all back. It's doubtful that this keep gets up. He's trying his best. He's sticking it. He's sticking it. He's going to get it. The keep gets up. GiveUA secures the position here in the center and secures the stone as a result. He's up to 12. He's got 1,200 stone on this bad boy. That'll give him another keep and a half. And he'll be very happy with that as he continues pushing through this central location. Elsbach Palace on 2.7k health. Battering rams coming out now as well. These guys don't look like they've been upgraded yet. No sign of siege works through for Simtom. GiveUA, no siege works either, at least not yet. And the upgrade's still got a way to go. And look at GiveUA. This is very telling of the play style of the Holy Roman Empire. What is an archery range? Actually, did he just get the archery upgrade? I swear I just saw him get the archery upgrade. That was 0. That was literally sitting at 0, and then he got 1. Don't tell me GiveUA is going to make archers. This is a Holy Roman Empire game, sir. We can't allow it. But how does he deal with the horse archers, though? That's the problem. There are so many horse archers. Once they get that bonus, you can see as soon as the warrior monk comes in and taps an enemy unit, all of these guys get an extra 4 damage bonus. That's a huge amount of damage when you think about it, right? They've got the Saint's Blessing, of course, the Saint's Blessing. You'd be very familiar with the Saint's Blessing. Horse archer mass really building up. Remember, as the numbers increase for the horse archers, so does their inefficiency, because they'll be focusing down the same target and it'll get overkilled. Horse archers definitely need to move back. You can't just rally them in like this. He's up to 34 horse archers here. Definitely needs to pull back. Okay, there we go. Now we're seeing some kiting. Obviously, Simtom's got a lot. GiveUA's score was 1-1-1-1-1. I saw it right then. I'm not sure if you guys spotted it as well. It was 1-1-0-1-1. Go GiveUA. Get to 1-1-1-1-1 again. Then everyone's going to be happy. That's for sure. I know I'll be happy. I like that this part of the map is just complete. Oh, sneak. Oh, very sneaky. This part of the map is just completely walled off. This is 100% a victory position right here. If he can get forces in from that side. And GiveUA pushing forward with just mass melee troops here. +2 coming through. No, sorry, Bob. No +2 just yet. Must have been a misclick. Vils now looking to siege down the fortified palisade gate. Doesn't have the stone required for a keep. It could drop down an outpost or two. And GiveUA running out of steam on this front line. Does manage to get cleaned up. So, you know, we were talking about the late game and talking about the prospect of Streltsy. I mean, that's in a perfect world where you've got infinite gold. Horse archers, though, for anyone unfamiliar, they cost 80 food and 40 wood. So they're very, very easy to make for the Rus. And now Simtom is going to need some kind of response to this keep. Remember, emergency repairs could always come along here. You get really good value from emergency repairs onto these keeps, because these keeps cost stone to repair. So that by using the emergency repairs, you're saving yourself stone. Whereas if you use emergency repairs on the Elsbach, obviously it's still a good use there, and you'd want to avoid it dying, but at the same time, it's going to cost you wood to repair the Elsbach. Vils did break through. Outpost going to be going up. GiveUA being very, very cheeky. Slowly but steadily. Holding on. We're right on board with GiveUA as he actually looks to start taking gold. I never thought I'd see the day. Leaves the stone at the back. And surely we're going to reach the point where there's no resources left on the map. These guys seem so evenly matched in this game. Keep in mind, this is a Golden League game, right? So these guys are playing and everybody's waiting for them. They're like, can you guys hurry up? And GiveUA is just like, he's so sweaty. And he's nerding it up like crazy. Multitasking on all corners of the map, trying to end the game. Simtom on the other side. He's just walling up like a madman. You can look at the line of sight Simtom's got. He's very much just sitting in his base, defending on all fronts. It feels like the swing has definitely gone in favor of GiveUA now, as he begins pushing through. I thought I turned off that alarm. I'm not even kidding you. I turned off like every single alarm on my phone, and still one just came through. It's like, hey man, there's another alarm. I just hope my wife is going to respond to that alarm, because, well, let's just say there's a reason why that alarm is going off. Anyway, GiveUA running Vils. L's back in the center, is slowly getting repaired up to about 60% health at the moment. And GiveUA doing the right thing. This is what I wanted to see him do earlier. Just come in, bring in 5 Vils, and just get another re-wall up. Buy yourself a little bit of time. You might not be able to react to it now with units, but give yourself another 30 seconds, and maybe you'll have another a cycle that comes through. Sacred Sites contested in the center. Does get picked up here. And now it's 2 against 0? No, 1 against 0. So we've got it's like noughts and crosses. 1 tie, I guess you could say. Battering ram slowly sieging down this position. So where do we go from here? I mean, realistically, who wins? I mean, Simtom's starting to pull ahead on score, but I always get hesitant to call score leads in games like this, just because the reality is they are unreliable. You're much better off judging people on their position. Judge them on their walls. Judge them on you know, the defensive positions that they're built up. And that's why I think GiveUA is in a really solid spot. Even though his defensive position is not the best, he obviously didn't finish this wall here. Okay, now it's been finished. A couple of units do manage to make their way through, but Springwood emplacements are going to be able to deal with it. It feels like Simtom, his base is just being cracked open like an egg. And GiveUA is struggling to really finish him off. Outpost emplacement. It's fully upgraded. Look at the amount of health it's got on it. 2450 health right now. But the Simtom's position's increasing. I mean, this is one of those things, right, where it's like, sure, GiveUA's got 2/3 of the map. Yeah, Simtom's on the back foot. But at the same time, Simtom arguably has the better unit composition if he can get to it. And that's going to be the key factor. Now, interestingly, we don't see a huge presence of siege coming out. I would have thought that we would have seen more bombards coming out to try and deal with the keeps that are out here. I would have thought we'd see Culverin, Springwoods, but we don't see anything. There's just a lack of siege. There is technically, GiveUA does have 2 bombards somewhere on this map right now. I got no idea where they are. Did he just spawn them? Yeah, there's one. I got no idea where the second one is. Maybe working its way on a flank somewhere. There's the second one. Okay, only just getting those bombards out now. No upgrades coming through from the high armory, so a reduction. And this is the thing, right? Like, I feel like maybe Simtom, he was obviously playing a more mobile style here, but definitely not to the strength of the high armory, right? Like, the strength of the high armory is down through the middle. Fight me mono in mono. I've got 6 Springolds and 3 Mangoes and 47 Rams. That's the kind of thing. Elite Horsemen. Let's compare the pair and see how they're doing. 252 up against 216. We still don't have full upgrades. Simtom's still yet to pick up full upgrades. Now only just getting +2. Insulated Helm coming through for him a little bit late here. Maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes too late. You normally expect to see that a bit sooner. And GiveUA definitely stabilizing in his position here. The only real threat that he's got is this west side corner. This could be what undoes him. Do we see a build-up? We do. A town center going to be coming down from Simtom as well. He wants to get more villagers up here, but he knows he can't make the run. If he gets up there, he's going to expose the fact that there's more and more behind there. Just needs to keep it hidden for the moment. And now that bombard. Firing down the high armory. Slowly but steadily, GiveUA whittles away the Simtom base. With the high armory going down, the response that Simtom's going to have here is going to be a little bit more muted on that siege front. And now Simtom begins to push out. We take a look from his defensive perspective. He's under attack from all angles. Horseman over on the west side. He's trying to go through those outposts, but just so little damage is being done. And that frees up all the population space for GUA to just fight on the front, the main front. He's up to 75 military population. He's got 9 in siege. Forward keep coming down. GUA looking to finish this game right now. Simtom definitely struggling. A lack of walls has hurt him. He's had pressure throughout the entirety of this game, and we see the town center now going to start making villages in this top side. I think he might be thinking about a potential landmark snipe. That could be an option, a way back in for him. Could be a landmark snipe, and now all of the knights are going to come through, clean up the Mangonels. Mangonel gets a shot off. It's onto the backside. Doesn't do too much damage, though. Second Mangonel does go down. And Simtom managing to hold on a little bit longer. The problem he's going to have is this keep. Boiling oil only now being researched? GUA, are you serious? Are you serious, GUA? No way. GUA only... And he's researching it with the keep at the front. Surely there's another keep on this map somewhere, GUA, that you... Wait. Oh, he can't research boiling oil there because it's being researched in the front keep. But you could just be researching it here. You could have researched it 6 minutes ago. 16 minutes ago. Oh my god, look at the attack sirens coming out right now. Everyone is under attack everywhere. All the units all at once. He's really struggling over on this western flank. And now GUA going to be sending out some units over there. We're right on board with him as his line of sight is slowly getting cleaned up here. And he's under attack on that north side. I tell you what, if there's a way back into this game for Simtom, that is going to be it. So many units here on this front. Still no boiling oil. I tell you what, GUA is definitely making a huge mistake there by not having that boiling oil in a little bit earlier. Mangonel hits the Streltsy. Double time. They're going to have to move. Mangonel shot. Looks for the second one. Can't get it off. And Vills get pulled. Stone's going to be thrown here. No emergency repairs. No town center nearby. Insufficient stone comes through for GUA. He's starting to struggle. Where is the siege that is taking down this keep? Is it a Treb? It is not. He's had to reallocate the market or change the market up a little bit. You'd love to go for this one at the back. You can see he's struggling with the traders. They're only making their way across the map now. Double keep here, going to be very solid in this defense. Interestingly, doesn't have emplacements on either of them. Just kind of using them as a way to ward off the enemy. And now a counterattack coming through from Simtom. He's got more Vills up here. Actually got a secret little market. If he's able to clean up the line of sight here, he could open up another avenue of trade. Mangonel shot goes wide. Streltsy continue moving forward. Boiling oil finally through for the Gua. Mangonel shot. Oh, it's big. Oh, it's huge. So many dead Streltsy. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200. That is a Mangonel worth right there. 2 Mangonels worth of Streltsy. Actually, yeah, what are they? 90 resources each. I think 90 wood. Oh, sorry, 90 food, 90 gold. Let me double check that. 90 food, 90 gold. So that my friends is a good shot. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, off the top rope. He comes through and cleans all of the Streltsy again. This is why Streltsy, you know what? Maybe I take it back. Maybe you do want to be the Holy Roman Empire in the late game. You want to make Streltsy as the Rus, but I tell you what, going up against these Mangonels is absolute pain. Perhaps that's just the consequence of losing out that high armory and not really playing into your strength of siege. And GUA slowly pushing back Simtom. Simtom struggling to keep his head above water. On 152 pop, GUA on 172. But to be fair, he doesn't have a huge bank here. And it gets spotted out. Look at this. GUA manages to spot out the traders on the edge of the map. Only 189 gold a pop, but I tell you what, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Better than the... Well, 171's pretty nice here. This is a full map length trade. Plus a little bit more on the extra, because you're not in the corner. But GUA looking to just segment this map out and say, you're not allowed to trade over here anymore. You're not allowed to farm here anymore. This is my map. So far this game, GUA has taken down 200,000 worth of units and buildings from the enemy. 158,000 for Simtom. GUA has the point lead now, up about 1,000 points. But the trade is in the works. And this proxy over on the west side could be the difference between GUA winning and GUA losing. Remember, emergency repairs is always at play. 3 landmarks, all here next to each other. We've got the elves back in the middle. Still no court architects through for GUA. When he definitely could have. Court architects increases the health of your buildings by 30%. Really nice to have, especially in the late game where landmark snipes become a threat. He's got a whole bunch of stables here, but... Oh, there it is. That's what we're looking for. The battering rams. First one out. He's committing it straight away, so not going for a snipe. He's only got 7 wood in the bank, so doesn't really have the option to go for more than this. He could look for scouts. It could be an option for Simtom. Simtom holding on for dear life. Really under pressure. You can see just how much of the map has been taken away from him. GUA going to start using the walls of Simtom for safety. He's taken 2 of the sacred sites and now almost taking the 3rd one. Simtom denies it. You won't get that sacred site trigger. Not today, my friend. And now GUA pushing in on the south side of this map. Do we have any units building up? Nothing yet from Simtom. Oh, I tell you what, oh my lord, just get a few more siege workshops. A few more siege workshops. Leave these rams, just chill them out. Don't send them to the enemy base just yet. You could potentially get a snipe victory here. Rams making their way across the map. Does he have the ram upgrade? Let's have a look and see. He does. The shattered beams, is that what it's called? Something to do with the beams. The longer beams, big beams. Be malicious. And now GUA. Really looking to seal this deal. When it comes to Simtom's defense, his economy is still pretty solid here. He's sitting on, I mean, if we had to do the math, 14, 16, about 6k resources a minute. Compared to GUA, who is on about 4.6k, 4.7k. So Simtom is still up when it comes to the resources that he's earning. And now focusing down the elves back. Okay, maybe this could be step 1 of the plan. Kill the elves back. Unfortunately, 45 villagers next to the elves back have got something to say about it. And the battering rams get obliterated in the blink of an eye. You can feel he wants it. He knows about it. There's the siege workshops that we were talking about. Throws them down, realizes this is the way forward. More rams coming out. He's got 800 in the bank. Ville's going to get pulled here. He needs something to help out against these villagers. Maybe knights might do it. At the moment, he's just making horsemen to try and hold this position in the north. Horsemen don't have nearly enough damage to deal with the villagers here. Keep in mind, these guys have got their textiles. They got their wheelbarrow. They got their +3s. They're going to be fine. And the trebs have been cleaned up on this south side. But GUA well and truly has segmented out this base. There's nothing living on the east side of Simtom's base. And now all that remains is to the south. He's tried his best to wall himself in and keep himself safe. Still moving forward. Looking to attack that Elsbach. Not a big build-up of rams at the moment. But don't count him out just yet. I tell you right now, I've seen enough of these games to know how these ones go. Watch out for the rams. Watch out for the rams. To me, it's just curious that he decided to throw down all of these siege workshops out here. I would have just loved to have seen like 5 or 6 siege workshops back here, just pumping out rams over time, and then just go and attack the enemy with like 40 rams. That's a victory condition right there. The problem that you're going to have is just 1, 2, 3 landmarks right here. Simtom stacking up a few units. Could look for a Wallalol to help defend himself. Trying his best to split the map, and it starts to seem like Simtom is fading. We're losing his vital signs. His economy is still powering on. But the main base, it just feels like he can't clean it out. Villagers pushing through for GUA. Gets the outpost up. He's got solid line of sight here. Sacred site somehow gets captured. And still we see these rams pushing out. No siege works still yet from the university. There it is. There's the siege works is in queue as I say it. And plenty of defensive units here now for GUA. He knows that this is the main threat to his game as well. So he's got to respect that. And what a game. What an absolute game. These guys have just fought a huge battle, a nail biter. A game where they walled the entire map. It's a labyrinth out there. Take a look at that. You've got one side of the map completely walled in yellow. The other side completely walled in blue. Stonewall's gonna... Yeah, GiveUA knows what's up. He's like, I'm not allowing it, so I know what you're doing. I know what you're thinking. It will not happen. I will not permit such a thing. GiveUA continues diving into the base. We're right on board with him. You can see just how far he's extended that line of sight. Those outposts really helping him. Look at the outpost formation that he's got here. Somehow finding stone on the map. All resources almost exhausted. Just a handful of gold. A few trees. In fact, are there any trees left? A couple of stealth forests. I get anxiety. I'm not even kidding you. GiveUAnxiety. I get anxiety when I see stealth forest as the only wood lines left on the map. I'm like, oh god. Oh god. And Symptom's like, oh god as well. Good game gets called. Fellas, if you've enjoyed this game, make sure you go check out Golden League. 15 GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you go check out GiveUA. Go check out Symptom. I'll leave links in the description and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.